Hi, everyone. I'm Brandy Alexander. I'm the principal at Tandem Tide and one of the co-creators of the Activate Innovate conference. And I'm joined here today by Julie, and she works with me, and then Tom and LaShawn from Actual Reality, and they are one of our conference sponsors. And we're here to talk about what they're up to. So I'll start with you, Tom. Tell us an overview of what Actual Reality does.
Yeah, Actual Reality Technologies is a Industry 5.0 consultancy. So we go into large manufacturers and help them improve their processes, accelerate their R&D, and a lot to do with AI and machine learning. But our strong passion is augmented intelligence, helping humans be superpowered.
That's awesome. And LaShawn, you are the COO of the company. Tell us a little bit about what you do in your role.
Yeah, so a lot of client engagement, just going out, just trying to make sure that we can get the word about what Actual Reality is here doing, not just locally, but in the state as a whole as well, too. Just making sure that we can keep the energy around augmented intelligence really active and just make sure that we can kind of catalyze the tech community that's here locally as well.
So, Julie, they are a local tech startup and one of our sponsors here. I'd like to see if you had any questions just about augmented reality and, I'm sorry, back up, about artificial intelligence and, kind of what they're doing for manufacturers in Ohio and the region.
I'm really curious. Can you tell me how Industry 5.0 and AR is going to, change and revolutionize what's happening here in Ohio?
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of years back, people in industry would have heard a lot about big data and machine learning. And so, about 10 years ago, this was a big topic. And the idea was, let's get all the humans off the assembly line and automate everything and grab data off of all of your machines. And what Industry 5.0 is coming back and refining of Industry 4.0 is saying, hey, the human still plays a very important role in this process. And by leveraging the data that we put in place with Industry 4.0, we can actually empower those humans that are still on the assembly line to do even more or to accelerate their processes. So that's really the journey we've been on and what we're helping local manufacturers embrace. It's really figuring out helping them figure out how to leverage the data they already have to make faster and more powerful decisions that save them millions of dollars.
It's almost like a superpower.
Exactly.
That you're giving them a gift of being able to just amplify what they're capable of.
Absolutely. And that's kind of our what we're really passionate about is helping the human become superpowered. So that's why we use this little turn of phrase called augmented intelligence rather than artificial intelligence. Sometimes artificial intelligence comes with that an idea that the human is being removed from the process. So that's why we focus on augmented intelligence that basically says, hey, we're going to give that human superpowers. Yeah.
I like that. It takes out that fear element that I think, Terminator put into all of us with Skynet and everything.
Skynet. I love it. So LaShawn, quick question for you. As you're out there, kind of leading business development, how open have, area manufacturers been to this conversation?
Very, very open to it, honestly. A lot of manufacturers here locally are still in Industry 3 and 4.0 and would love to be able to leapfrog to the point where they're at Industry 5.0. So they've been vastly open to it. And there's been an abundance of conversation in that regard as well, too. So not even just in the manufacturing sector, we've also been able to talk to companies in the nonprofit sectors, also companies in the public sector as well, too, or private sectors, and even at the state and government level.
That's awesome. So you guys are going to be at the conference. I'm assuming you're going to have a table to, kind of talk to people about what you guys are up to. But you're also going to be part of a panel. So tell us a little bit about what you're going to be talking about in our AI and innovation panel.
Yeah, one of the things we're excited to discuss and engage others on is what does the future of work look like with augmented intelligence, and what does the human have to bring to the table versus what do we expect the machine to be doing on our behalf? And so I think a lot of the anxiety around AI is it going to take my job? But I think the reality that we're trying to bring to life is that AI is strategic, it's smart, it's not sneaky. Like, how do we help employees brag about the fact that they're leveraging AI to show that they're accelerating themselves and helping get work done faster? And then businesses, continue to expand. And so the fact that what you're doing today isn't what you're going to be doing tomorrow. We're trying to demystify that a bit and help show how you're actually going to be doing work that is probably more fulfilling and more interesting than pushing the paper and hammering numbers into Excel spreadsheets.
So, LaShawn, how do you see like today's worker transitioning to a world that is dominated by, artificial intelligence or augmented intelligence?
Well, that transition, especially when you think about with augmented intelligence, should be a tandem type of transition. This would be a step by step transition that we should be able to take together. And that's actually the idea of not just saying, hey, what can artificial intelligence do on its own, or what can a human do and accomplish on its own, but what can be accomplished together. So a lot of times, even when you talk about the idea of, someone saying, hey, I'm scared of losing my job to AI, it's not likely the fact that you're going to lose your job to AI. You're more likely to lose your job to someone that knows how to utilize and implement artificial intelligence. So instead of looking at it as this two separate walks that's going to be going, I would look at it more as a one in tandem walk, where they're holding hands together and going into the future of possibilities.
So, Julie, you do a lot of content creation, for our company. And Tom, what you're talking about is far surpasses like a chat GPT. Bridge the gap for people that really don't understand, some of the more advanced capability of AI with someone who just has a baseline understanding of like a chat GPT.
Yeah, so what ChatGPT is a particular type of artificial intelligence. It's called Gen AI. So Gen AI is the concept of it generating new information. And so ChatGPT is probably the easiest version that many people, surprisingly, not as many as I would think, but many people have leveraged. There's other arms of AI that we use in manufacturing. Some of the current state capabilities of ChatGPT are concerning because it can do what's called hallucination. Hallucination is where it doesn't actually know the answer, or the answer that it produces may not actually be accurate. Because in the end, what ChatGPT is doing, it's predicting what the next best word is, which is super interesting, because if you think about that, the fact that it thinks about what the next best word is, yet we ascribe to it this concept of thinking. It's just we as users of ChatGPT are still learning how to, maximize its accuracy and have it produce answers that we can trust. There's another wing that we call machine learning, and machine learning is a little bit more accurate in that when it is working on probabilistic analysis and trying to say what's the probability of this thing occurring, it's able to tell you a level of plus or minus a certain threshold. And so now you can say, oh, okay, so it gave me this answer that if I put in chemical A and chemical B, that the probability that I'll have this better outcome is this, and the chance that it's wrong is this. There's like some error bars where you can say that. So in manufacturing and in industry, that's way more useful, because now we have probability, risk, and other data that we can leverage based on what the computer is predicting based on past performance. And so that's a little bit more accurate and usable in industry. And so there's a lot of different techniques that we use and a lot of different capabilities. Some of you probably have seen the whole image recognition, where it can start to pick out that there's a dog in this picture, and that, hey, this person's wearing that particular shirt and you can buy it over here. Those kinds of capabilities, that's all in the end machine learning and doing kind of a probabilistic understanding of, well, that creature has 4 legs and it looks in this fashion, and it compares it to the thousands of images it's been trained on So these are some of the techniques that we help manufacturers use. You can imagine when you're trying to seek out a defect, right? So if we have thousands of images of defects, we can actually train a camera to basically identify when a product is defective, at 1,000 products per second kind of rate. So that's what we found. Now, another question that you asked earlier, we had the opportunity to go to Bowling Green State University. We were talking to students about what does it mean to be a computer scientist in the age of AI when the AI can write code for you.
Right.
And one of the interesting things that I experimented with then is I put up on the screen the word why, and I took it 2/3 off the screen and put it in a funny font so that you could barely make out that it's the word why. And I asked them, do you think a computer, I asked them, what does it say? Almost everybody saw it, could figure out that it said the word why. And I asked them, do you think a computer could see that? And if you just pull out your Google app, there's actually a image recognition capability on that. And sure enough, if you clicked on it, it said why. It could read that, and it was able to understand that that was the word why, which is a little bit mind-blowing. But in the end, the essence of my speech was, what is your why? Why did you get into whatever you're doing? And when you think about that for a second, usually you did not get into whatever you have chosen as your profession because you wanted to do the nitty-gritty busy work stuff. You got into it, and in this case for computer scientists, they were in it because to the person, they all said they wanted to build something. And just because now the code can be written for you and you can build it much faster, did your why change? And everybody was like, oh yeah, I guess it didn't. My why is I still want to build stuff. And so for the fact that the AI can help me build that stuff faster is actually a benefit. It's not a detractor. And so I think there's ways of seeing how AI fits into your life. It frees us up to be maybe better than we were before, not having to do so much busy work. But also, I think it's going to, in the end, free us up to connect with people and really help us become better humans to each other. So
I love it. I hope that happens.
And I absolutely agree, though. I know we probably want to wrap, but what you just said resonates a lot with what we do on the marketing side with content creation and connecting with audiences. If by using these tools, we're not using it to do our work for us. We're using it to help us streamline our processes and get to our goals faster. And I always jokingly call it my assistant. I'm always like, oh, let me talk to my assistant about that. And like you said, it's doing the probability for the next thing. So I'll do my diligence and make sure and ensure the research is accurate in the ways I have. But getting that to that point of being able to confirm and make sure everything's accurate is a lot faster.
Well, and what a much more effective marketer you will be when you can run so many more experiments and you can talk to so many more people because some of the back office work is being taken care of. And that's really the key is like each individual is going to find that it is empowering them to do things that, even think about an administrative assistant who's doing busy work all day long. Well, imagine a bunch of that busy work is done for them. And now they can get out in front of their desk and greet that customer more effectively and really be a part of your branding of when somebody comes in. Now they're available versus saying, yeah, just a second, go sit on the couch. And then they go back to their work. Right? Imagine they can engage with their customers. So, I mean, all the way up and down the chain, I think it actually is an enhancer for people. So, yeah, it's a very exciting times.
Absolutely. Cool. Well, LaShawn, you are leading our panel on AI. Do you have any sort of closing thoughts? What can people look forward to?
A lot of exciting conversation, a lot of talk about innovation, a lot of just activating the local tech community and just the idea that Toledo is a tech hub. We're on the come up and, we are looking forward to having additional and even grander events here. So looking forward to seeing everyone there, looking forward to a sold out event and looking forward to doing it again in 2025. So
I love it.
Really excited.
Awesome. Great. Well, thanks, guys. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you on June 13th.
All right. We will be there.
All right. Awesome. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yay.